Okay, and welcome to day 2 of our 28-day Christmas wind down. We're going to look at the big picture stuff. So now that we already have our intentions and we have an affirmation that we can repeat to ourselves that constantly reaffirms the kind of emotions, the kind of energy, the kinds of feelings that we want to have by the end of this period, it's now time to start going one layer more concrete. This is something that we can do is to design from patterns to details. So we can start asking questions about when we're going to do this thing, where we're going to do it, with who, why are we going to do it this way and why not something else, somewhere else, with other people in some different capacity. And we can start to think, what would make it perfect? There's really a chance for us to be creative. We don't have to be practical just yet. And this idea of designing from patterns to details is actually a concept from the natural design science that is permaculture. If you wanted to take a bare property and turn it into a house with animals and food forests and all kinds of productive assets, well, you don't just purchase the property and start planting tomato seeds. First, you make a design of the overall layout. You want to know where the house is going to be. You want to know where some of the gardens are, where is best for animals. You need to know where your water is and how to access the property. We need to know some basic patterns about the property so that we can then start designing the details. One of the core things, and I see this time and time again, of people running into stress and overwhelm, feeling anxious, is that they immediately start with the details. So for instance, if I knew Christmas was coming and I knew that I only had, say, 10 plates and cups in the kitchen, but I was going to invite 12 people over, well, then I might run straight to the store and I might get all new plates, all new cutlery, all new cups. I'm really focusing on this one detail, which if something happens, if people pull out, or if we do paper plates, or we do handheld food, or we go to somebody else's house, all of these details become irrelevant, which means we're constantly thinking about little things as opposed to the broad pattern. Okay, so the broad pattern, when do we want to have our Christmas break? So for me, I usually have multiple different sides of the family. I have my core family, I have my extended family, I have my family friends. And typically I will see some on Christmas Eve and some on Christmas Day and some on Boxing Day. I need to have a plan that covers this in the entire time frame for which I'm in this restful relaxation state. So I know broadly, the broad pattern of my holiday is going to be from about 18th of December till about 2nd of January. Now, I can play with that. Maybe it would be perfect if I went till January 10th or whatever. But there are other patterns that start to complicate that. So I can kind of lock that in because I know that that's not going to really interfere with other people. Okay, where is it going to be? This is a question of location. So am I going to have it at my house? Am I going to have it at friend's house, family's house? Am I going to go overseas? Maybe I go on a trip. Maybe I hire a hotel, or maybe I hire an Airbnb. These are all ideas. I don't have to select one of them. I can select multiple. I can keep multiple in mind. And because I'm not focused on the details, I don't get bogged down with too much. I can think about a trip away. I can think about doing it at a friend's house, and they're not even mutually exclusive. Maybe I go to a friend's house and maybe I host something, and then maybe I go on a trip. Maybe that's just for a few days. Maybe I spend some time at the beach. Okay. So I can keep all of these ideas as possibilities without having to crystallize and concretize any particular one until I get closer to the more detailed aspects. Okay, and with who? Well, hopefully you've got immediately springing to mind a bunch of people that you want to spend your Christmas with. Family, friends, loved ones. Perhaps there are groups or teams or masterminds you're a part of that you want to be seeing and being involved with during this time. Okay, so having a general sense of who is in your circle and who you need to make time for will be really, really helpful to make sure that you account for all of these details. Okay, and then once you've got a little bit of an idea, of your when, where, and with who, then you can start thinking, okay, well, why this way? Is there someone else or somewhere else or somewhen else that I could have these celebrations that could make it really good? So this is your chance to reevaluate. So like I said, I'm planning for about 18th of December to 2nd of January, but why not earlier? Why not later? Why not more time? Why not less time? I can really start to play. What are my actual boundaries here? Is there anything really solid? Like a lot of people will take off the first half of January? So can I extend it, or can I maybe go slower through January? Can I do things now that mean I don't actually have to do as much on the 2nd of January, and then it all just rolls out? You see? So now we can start playing around with those boundary conditions. And then the 5th one is really an injunction to look at your ideal situation. What would be the absolute perfect situation for you? I mean, maybe you want to go spend Christmas in the snow. Maybe you want to fly to Aspen and go snowboarding. Like, is that your ideal? Because that's something for me that would just be fantastic, right? And I can think of the perfect situation, perfect scenario, without having to get attached to it. And I can start filtering through certain practicalities later down the track. Okay, and before we go too far, so we're going from big picture to small details, and we're going to step through it systematically. But it is really important to reaffirm our commitment to certain energy, certain emotion, and certain feelings, right? So we have to come back to these affirmations very, very regularly. I recommend doing it at least twice a day. Look at it once in the morning, look at it once in the evening, and constantly build towards this kind of energetic and emotional state. So again, the affirmation for me is this: come Christmas, I'll be fully relaxed and restful. Everything that needs doing by Christmas will be done. I will manage my energy. I will be organized ahead of time. I will create a relaxed Christmas for myself and for those that I love. I will come rested and excited to bring in the new year. And on December 25th, I will be more relaxed, calmer, and more collected than any Christmas before. So join me for tomorrow. We're going to talk about the next steps. We'll start to get a little bit more concrete again. And we'll do this by starting to bring in the key elements of building our second brain. This is going to help us keep track of things, keep track of our ideas, and then evolve. And then eventually that system is going to evolve into an entire organization and productivity system that we're going to use to take action on the things that we end up deciding we're going to do. Okay, so stay tuned. Look forward to seeing you in the next video, and keep going with your affirmations and thinking about your big picture Christmas. Talk to you soon.